Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
We talked about the India organization. If I can point some questions, maybe you can just chip in. Okay. Can you introduce yourself, please, first?
Yeah, definitely. So thank you so much, Albib Mubarak Radio and the organizers and Mufti Pandor Bhai to bring me here to the radio. I would definitely like to introduce India as an organization to you because I'm sure everybody knows India. That what India stands for. India stands for tolerance. India stands for equality. India stands for equal rights for everybody, irrespective of their religious backgrounds or their socio-economic backgrounds. And these are all the properties that in a human being and as an organization, the India organization stands for. India is the acronym for International Network for Democratic Indians Abroad. And we are a group of people, and increasingly so. We are almost 150 people at the moment. We've only recently started earlier in this year. We are a group of people who believe in social right, social justice, equal rights, tolerance, and respect for all religions, all the choices that human beings make, as long as they do not offend anybody, as long as they do not anybody's sentiments, as long as they do not prevent anybody from living a life that a decent human being deserves to live on this earth. And that's who we are. So we have people from all backgrounds in this organization. We've got Hindus, people practicing Christianity. We've got Buddhists. We've got people practicing Muslim, Islamic religion.
You yourself are a Christian also, aren't you? Practicing Christian.
Yes, I am a practicing Christian, very much. But that is only a personal choice that I have, and I like to keep it personal because religion is something which is a personal choice people make. As a human, all of us, whatever we may believe in or we may not believe in, we deserve the same respect that anybody gets, and that's what is enshrined in the Constitution of India for us.
Can you just shed a light on the Modi government and what's actually happening in India at the moment?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, Modi government is really the people's choice. The people of India have given them opportunity to govern the country for the 5 years and then another 5 years. And unfortunately, the government has promoted such policies that promote hatred, communal violence, and they have distanced people's hearts away from each other. Now, when I was growing up, that was not the case. So even though we know that India was corrupt, and a lot of people say that previous governments were not great, and I do agree that they were not perfect, but they were perfect in the sense that we never fought with each other. Indians never fought with each other the way they do. The Indians of a specific community never felt scared the way they do for their lives, for the safety of their children and their women, as they have been facing for the last 6-7 years. And that is appalling. And not just appalling, it is heartbreaking for everybody who has come to the UK or any other country from India. It is absolutely heartbreaking and terrible for us to know that our own brothers and sisters, be it our Muslim brothers and sisters or Christian brothers and sisters or even Dalit brothers and sisters who face such things, atrocities based on their background, on their religious backgrounds or on the choices they have made to worship a certain God. And that is where the government has completely failed. And the focus of the government has moved from what they should be focusing on, the economic policies, on removing the unemployment, on removing the poverty of the country, that focus has moved to things that instigate hatred and violence among people. And in fact, the people who are committing violent activities in the country, killing people, they have got open protection by the Prime Minister of the country. The Prime Minister is following many of them on Twitter. Even this minister from Bangalore, who's been tweeting Islamophobic tweets and who has spoken really disrespectfully for women, and they may be Arabic women, but they are women, and as a woman, I have a problem with that. Anybody who disrespects any women is a problem here. And this is why we are not surprised that the women are treated so badly in that country during this rulership. The women are used as a ransom to the oppressed, against the oppressed communities. People who have women in the houses are scared, and it's one of the biggest crimes against humanity to do things like that. Delhi pogrom was one of the things.
A few years back, when Modi was minister in Gujarat, in fact, one of my nephews from one of my stepsisters, he was brutally murdered in Gujarat, and I think it was in the media and also. I mean, up to now, there has been no justice for anybody. So he was the minister there. And the account that we have is the police were actually the mob was doing all this violence, and the police were just basically turning a blind eye. Is that how the Indian police are behaving?
Well, now you've made a question which should have got already an answer, because the judiciary proceedings on these cases have already happened, and they have gone in favor of the people who have been incriminated for those crimes. Now, we are still asking the same questions, because obviously we are not satisfied. The judiciary proceedings, the way the witnesses were brought in, who was brought in, and all of these things have a very big question mark. The legal system is not fair, and it has been proven on many occasions. There are judges who have come out in the country and who have said that they are really worried. One justice who was killed openly, and he was one of the judges who were going to give judgment on one of these cases against Narendra Modi. Narendra Modi was one of the primary people who were blamed for allowing the government, allowing the local government, and in fact also protecting the people who were doing these murders and killings during 2002. Now, we cannot say anything for sure, because the ruling has been not in favor of what has actually happened. And I do think that and I do hope that this government is not still elected by the people again, and when law and order is reinstated in the country, these things are probed again and investigated again, and justice prevails in the country again, not just in the 2002 case, but in many other cases where injustice is happening under this government.
Doctor, can I just ask you to because what's happening in my community here is we hear a lot of stuff about citizenship amendment bill and all this sort of stuff. So could you just briefly tell us what's going on there? It looks like there's some law that's being passed that's really contrary to the Indian Constitution.
Yeah. So, well, I think by now everybody is educated about the CAA and the NRC and the connection with them. It's a sieving process. It's a filtering process of the people who have been living in the country and the people who are going to be brought in the country. And based on their religion, it is going to be decided whether they deserve to get asylum in the country or not, whether they deserve to get citizenship in the country or not. Now, which country in the world has decided asylum based on their religion? Because fundamentally, the basic premise of asylum is atrocity. Atrocity could be for anything. It can be because you follow a certain religion. It can be because you are of a certain sexual orientation. Many homophobic people have, participated in these things against people who are following a certain sexual orientation. And atrocity can be against women. Atrocity can be against also you if you are of a certain ideology. So atrocity has no definition which is anywhere closely related to religion. And so the government has come up with this plan to ensure that only people who are of non-Muslim background are given asylum or citizenship in the country. And that is where the problem arises. For me, that's a fundamental human right of any person who is at risk of life to get a safe haven in any country they go. And that's where India has failed the world with this law.
Doctor, this organization of ours, India, International Network of Democratic Indians Abroad. So what is it? What sort of project do you have currently? I think there's some project that you have very urgently. Regarding the COVID-19 virus and certain minorities have been scapegoated, saying that these are the carriers. We know what happened in Islamabad, the group of the people when the government suddenly announced the lockdown. I mean, these poor people couldn't go anywhere. So they were then locked. They were then locked in. They basically had to stay in the mosque. They just couldn't go. The borders were closed. But I think that created another problem.
And it's
organization are doing something about that.
So as an organization made up of people who have very strong humanitarian principles, it shook us really to see that the community which is already oppressed because of their religion during the governance of BJP is again targeted when this pandemic has hit the country. And whilst everybody else is free to take care of their health, get health care, the Muslims, on the contrary, had to actually worry for their lives and for their livelihoods just because they were Hindu Muslims, not because they could be affected by COVID. So the parameters for the Muslims and for the other minorities was completely different in this pandemic in India. And that's why we decided to expose this to the world. I mean, the world has seen in the past historically as well that the minorities or the oppressed communities are further oppressed on the pretext of a pandemic. And this has happened in the past. In this day and time when India is getting so developed, we've got satellites going, 104 satellites going in a single day, and we've got ISRO, highly competent satellite programs are being built. We've got great scientists. In this day and time, the people of India are oppressing other human beings just because they believe in some other religion. And there's a problem with that. So we have gone ahead and
I think we need the help of the people also. If the people can get also involved. So what is actually we're doing now immediately?
So we have started making a documentary film on that, where we will highlight the atrocities that are happening on the minorities, including the Muslim community mainly, in India during the COVID. And this thing needs to be raised and highlighted in a very big way. So we do intend to bring it to the notice of the international public, so that there is an international pressure raised towards the Indian government to prevent these things from happening, and to give protection and equal rights to the Muslim people as well, and other minorities that are affected. In fact, only recently we came to know that a Christian priest was also killed because he was holding an online Easter service or Good Friday service. I don't know which exact date that was, but one of those days when the Christians fast for 40 days. And there was a Dalit cleaner who was going home from cleaning the hospital, was killed as well, because he was considered to be unclean. Now, this needs to be, all this needs to be made.
How long is the documentary going to be, and how are you funding this documentary?
So this documentary is going to be completed in the mid of June. We have commissioned a world-class documentary filmmaker, Dakshin Chara, and we've got some of the very big names like Paras Jha and other people who are sitting in the US and Canada to make sure that this documentary is world-class, and that it has an effect and impact on the people who watch it, and they feel appalled. We have a fantastic R&D team within the India organization led by Leila Kariwal Phillips, and she has and her team have done a fantastic job in putting all the fact checked data together to put into this documentary. We are really short of funds. So yeah, so we didn't really want to wait for funds, because this documentary is so important to come to the world. We've started making the documentary, but we're really short of funds, and we would like to complete it as we have planned. And we are asking our fellow citizens in the UK and all over the world to help us finalize this documentary and bring it out as soon as possible. So I would like to appeal to all the listeners here to really help us out in completing this documentary as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think Mubarak Radio wouldn't mind. I mean, we are collecting through PayPal, and IWS has sent a flyer out and subject to discussion with the responsible people in Mubarak Radio. We will try and get some information out also there, because this documentary, I think, is very, very important, and it's very important. In fact, I was the one that was pushing very hard for this, if you recall, Doctor. But I think even without money, we need to go ahead and God will find a way for it. For the Muslim listeners, we are accepting Lillah Fund and others. Actually, the card will not be is not a mechanism that we can use in this type of funds, because the card, as everybody knows, has to go directly to the poor people to help them. So we are looking for Lillah Fund, and we will talk to the people of Mobile Radio and try and inshallah get some links out and get some information out there. Doctor, what do you see? What do you see? What do you see in terms of the Arabic countries? I mean, I noticed on Twitter that the Arabs are now becoming more active, and they're understanding what's happening. So how can we exploit that?
Well, I think because the Muslim issue in India has so crossed the limits of decency, limits of humanity, that the Arabic people, in solidarity with the Muslims of India, have started to speak. And I think this is a good news for us, because we are trying to build international awareness so that we can build pressure in the Indian government to do the right thing for all its people. So with the attention from the princes and the princesses of the Arabic countries, it's a great hope for us. And in fact, it really feels like a glass of water in after you've walked in a desert for several days. This relief sort of thing is felt with the speaking out of the people who are in powerful positions in the Middle East, to speak in favor of Muslims. And I do hope that their support is extended not just to the Muslims but all the other minorities that are seriously oppressed in India. It is benefited to everybody. Their voices are benefit everybody. After all, we are all the same human beings, and we've got the same blood running in our veins. And me being a doctor can tell you that my blood is no different from Mr. Modi's blood or Mufti Pandor's blood. We have the same makeup in our bodies. It's just that our hearts are different. And I do hope that the Arabic princes and princesses make a difference for all of us.
Well, the princess of Hind al-Batini, she's quite active, and she goes under the name of Lady Velvet, for those who want to look her up on Twitter. She's quite active, she's quite vocal. And we've had a talk within the group that we are in the process of writing a letter, and then hopefully get some feedback from her. Because as you all know, India and Pakistan, and in very much Bangladesh, there is a lot of migrant workers that go to the Arab countries. In fact, just yesterday, I saw a posting. It was one of our groups that sitting in Riyadh, there was an RSS group that was having a meeting. So I've actually sent that photo off to some of the ulama that I know there, and I said, can you please look into this and get these people, because they're sitting in a Muslim country and defaming Muslims and calling atrocities to Muslims. So watch this space, and inshallah together we will succeed. And I finish with one hadith of Rasulullah, which goes something like this for the listeners. If there is a group of traveling on the upper deck and the lower deck of a ship, and the lower deck people, they say that they want water, so they go out on the upper deck and then they get water. So what one of them decided is why don't we drill a hole at the side of the ship and get the water here? So if the people from the upper deck didn't stop them from drilling the hole and getting the water out, then one day they will come, or a time will come when the whole ship will sink. And this is exactly the same with all the various different minorities. Firstly, what happens in the divide and rule policy is that you target one community, you destroy that community, and then you go to the next community. Then it's the Hindu community will first of all target the Muslim communities. If all of the communities bury their heads in the sand, then it's not our problem, it's Muslim problems. Then once they're done with that, what will happen is they will then attack the Christian communities, and then they will attack the Buddhist community, and then they will attack the Dalit community, the Buddhist. I mean, there was a video yesterday that one Buddhist couple were being forced to say the Hindu charm for their God, which is quite atrocious. Anyway, Dr. Manisha, is there anything else that you'd like to add before? I know you have a meeting 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I really want to appeal to the listeners to please go forward and support organizations like India, who are secular and who are striving for human rights for all human beings, and especially for all the Indians. We really need a lot of help, not just funds, but also people who can devote their talents and their skills, who can devote their time to do things for us. There are few people, in fact, quite a few people who are doing a lot of good work in this organization. Mufti Bhai has been extremely helpful and supportive to us. We have Abdul Karim Bhai from Leicester. We have Munaf Zina from North London. Praveen Koluguri from London, Dr. Shabuddin Khan from Leicester, and many more. I can keep on saying the names, but still we are really short of people who can devote their time and help us out in doing so many things that we really need to do. It's a big monster that we need to defeat. So please join us.
If you want to hold on line, I'm going to give the mic back to sorry, I you sure.
No. You're welcome because it's interesting.
Questions and the direction to move the discussion.
Yeah.
So thank you for providing that for me.
Yeah.
Okay, back to you. Dr. Manisha, do you have to go or do you have to stay?
No, I can stay. I am still waiting for the link for the other call, but I'd love to listen to the conversation. So if you want me to switch this off, I can put it off and I will carry on listening to the radio.
No, I think if you some callers are going to call and ask Dr. Manisha or myself some questions, that would be good. I don't know if you're...
if you don't want to phone, because we are live on Facebook, so if everybody wants to make any comments, I could read them here. So if anybody on the Facebook wants to make any comment, please do, then I could read it out for you. Is that okay?
That's perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, shall I continue?
Yes.
Ramadan and how
Yes, definitely.
And first stop me if you got something urgent, whether it's related to India or whether it's related to Ramadan or whether it's related to anything else. Just stop me and try and answer those questions.
Because, as you know, Mufti Sahab, it's been unique Ramzan where, we usually a connection with the masjid, and it's been special, especially for the regular, especially for the elderly people who are in there regular or who are Ramzan, and this time it's quite, and you have to stay indoors. And mashallah, one thing as I said, a lot of people have turned their homes into masjids, praying together, doing time together, things like that. So it's something unique that people will take over the years from this, the lessons. And hopefully,
this is unique in history. Even Makkah and Medina in our lifetime, and it's not to say that Makkah and Medina never closed. There have been historically where Makkah and Medina over a hundred have been cancelled. At least in our lifetime, this is probably the first time that's happened, and I hope it's going to be the last time. But there is always a silver lining to these things.
yes.
It makes, because because we're so busy, people don't go to mosques and Jamaat and things. This is something unique. That I think when COVID-19 is lifted, when the lockdown is lifted, I do believe that people will be going to mosques more and more because they will realize that when it was really available to people who could go to mosques, they were sort of making lazy and procrastinating, and I'll do my namaz later, I'll do my prayers later, and don't go to mosque. So I think it's a wake up call for us all.
Definitely. But I said, it might be a lockdown, but don't let it knock you down. And I think there's been a lot of positive, as you know, with law masjids working with the food bank, as you know. And that's been very positive, not just in Bali Jews, but all over. I've seen on the Facebook, where people have given their time to give to people who are suffering. So that's been quite good.
In India, as everybody must have seen, the sort of humanitarian aim that's going on, regardless of religion or what background you have. The Muslims, not the Muslims, a lot of people are doing it, but obviously our access is to Muslim media. And the way they are feeding people, the people that are traveling home, they can't get in. I saw one video from a place called Becker, and people are passing through the main road there, trying to get home.
I've got a question. Somebody wants to...
People are moving quite rapidly. It's a very transit population. And people of Berkah were giving food to these people. I'm sure this was happening all over the place.
Yeah.
And many places, people were helping Hindus getting their families buried because the Hindus they deserted them and things like that. So it's quite it's bringing out the good good part of humanity to show that, what real people are like. Real people came together.
We've got people on the line want to ask a few questions. If we just hold fire, yeah?
Yeah.
Assalamualaikum, brothers. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Shabuddin Khan here. My question to Dr. Manisha. How can the British citizens from UK support the India organization which they are fighting for, the cause which they are fighting for? How can we, as British citizens, support them in what way?
Okay, that is your question, yeah?
Hello, Manisha, you want to ask that question?
Yeah,
Please,
sure, sure. Shabuddin, thank you so much for the question. I think as British citizens, we are in a very powerful position here. We are not the oppressed people in India. We are here in a free country and we are free to do the right things. So the way we can do here is to, number of things, first of all, we can do. We can get in touch with members of parliament of our areas, our councillors. We can make them aware of what's going on and insist that they should make statements, make Twitter posts and on Facebook and speak about it. We can all get together and put something together that we can send in the UN or the Human Rights Commission in Geneva. We can do that. We can also back home provide support back home by holding conversations with the government themselves. Take a delegation and speak about what we would like to see India to be and what we are seeing. They should, the Indian government, I know during election they were very insistent that the NRIs are given a good impression, and we are the ones who are sitting here. So although there are a lot of people, right wingers, who are supporting Modi government and are not doing their duty of raising these questions to the government, we are in a position to raise those questions. We are in a position to take those steps. I think the British citizens who want to see a change, the first thing I would like them to do is to make up their mind that they really want to be just armchair warriors and forward messages from their phones, or do they really want to make a difference? And if they do want to make a difference, they need to unite together. And in the India organization, this is what we are aiming to do. We want to bring all the Indians who are the real Indians, who believe in the Constitution of India, to come under one umbrella, unite and take action, not just be armchair warriors. Does that answer your question, Shahab?
Can I ask about Dr. Manisha?
Thank you, Dr. Mufti Sahab, we're going to quickly add on something on this, doctor.
The first thing is that because I suspect the overwhelming population that listen to this, I shouldn't be stereotyped, but how some sort of great inclination, it's not a good Islamic inclination. So it reminds me of a hadith of Rasulullah which says, مَنْ رَأَى مِنْكُمْ مُنْكَرًا فَلْيُغَيِّرْهُ بِيَدِهِ فَإِنْ لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَبِلِسَانِهِ وَإِنْ لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَبِقَلْبِهِ وَذَلِكَ أَضْعَفُ الْإِيمَانِ. Translated into English, it means whoever sees any wrong being committed and if he is able to, he should stop it by his hand. Clearly, we cannot stop it by our hand because that's going against the government and we don't have the power. مَنْ رَأَى مِنْكُمْ مُنْكَرًا فَلْيُغَيِّرْهُ بِيَدِهِ فَإِنْ لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَبِلِسَانِهِ. Then the next level of faith is that you should try and stop it with your tongue. That means speak about it, speak against it, and tell the oppressor that this is wrong. We must stop that, and we must do that. And then the last thing is that even sometimes some people are not able to stop it with their tongue because they've got some other issues that they can't speak up. Maybe they've got some other issues. Then the last level of faith is you feel bad about it in your heart. So this is that's the weakness of the iman. But this is what we must do in the steps of Rasulullah. And also, I think that there is angle of donation. Clearly, there is a lot of work that needs to be done. Like Dr. Manisha just mentioned a few moments ago, it's going to cost us £15,000 to do a documentary in the name of COVID-19. So it is very important that people do donate because not everybody has the time, ability, and articulate enough to do the work. So then we need to support the people that are doing it. So this is my message to the people that are listening that you must support this cause because I know this organization. People know me also. As a book in GR, if you're listening, he is also part of this organization. And this organization is very good. We've worked together with Anfilis and I've asked Dr. Manisha for the next Indian meeting we want to hold in in Berkeley. So it's very important to do that. Back to you.
Jazakallah for calling. Did that answer your question, yeah?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Manisha. Before I leave, if you want to, I can ask one more for Dr. Manisha or Mufti Bhai. Is there anything you would like to comment on the way the Tablighi Jamaat has been targeted in India? I think if I start, I think in our view, they used to believe the word for Tablighi Jamaat is chuked. This is the language they use. And for others who, I think some of our children were also in temples and how short-lived they use that word. So the use of language was very interesting in the Modi media, as they call it. And we've been talking to people in Islamuddin, and what they did was they actually, so that not going to happen, they actually went and informed the police that look, we have so many hundreds of people that are on missionary peaceful work, and they have become stranded. And they were informed that it's not that they were hiding. So this is quite interesting. But when the Jews were scapegoated in Nazi Germany, this is exactly what they did. So they pick a group and they start demonizing. This is what's happening. I don't know if Dr. Manisha wants to add something there.
Yeah, I mean, for me, wherever there is lack of compassion, people can use all sorts of terminologies for the same thing. When the people following religion of the ruling party are congregating, it's called that they have got stuck in there. Whereas if the Islamic people are congregating, then they say they are hiding there. And this is how you work actively and consciously against a certain community, and it is wrong. It is not right, and I don't think anybody in their right senses can ever call it all right. But there are people who are calling it all right, and that is our fight. That is what we need to fight. We need to get this government either to do the right thing, which I am more and more beginning to not have any more faith left in that, or to bring a government. India should bring a government that is more compassionate to the people of India, not just a certain community. And that is the only thing that keeps me and my organization going, that someday this is going to change. And whilst it has not changed, we will keep on speaking for them.
Yeah, Doctor, I was a little bit more optimistic than that, but I think you probably know it better than I do. I haven't been for a number of years. There was a ruler called Ibrahim ibn al-Adham. He was a Sufi saint, he became a Sufi saint later on. But somebody came to him and he said, Ibrahim, who is the ruler now? He said, I am. But then he said, who was the ruler before you? He said, my father was. He said, who was the ruler before you? He said, that. So basically this poor man who came to Ibrahim ibn al-Adham was saying to Ibrahim ibn al-Adham that today you are here, tomorrow, yesterday there was somebody else before, and the day before that somebody else was there before that. Likewise, today you are here, tomorrow there will be somebody different. So don't become too comfortable. But we only pray that may God send somebody who is not even worse than Modi. But what can we say? We can only pray. Anyway,
we can only hope for the best. But like you said, that anything can happen. What we need to do is to empower the people of India with with the values of human life. And only very ordinary people can turn it around.
Month of Ramadan, and I should have added that before, that dua are accepted in Ramadan, as we all know, and we need to make continuous dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that may Allah give peace and tranquility and harmony in our motherland India, because it is so important. Most of us have got some family or other back in India. So especially we're now in the middle 30 days of Ramadan, and soon we'll be hitting the 21st, 23rd, 27th, 25th, 27th, and 29th night, which one of those will be Laylatul Qadr, and Laylatul Qadr khayrun min alfi shahr, which means that those nights will be the nights where Allah accepts the dua of people. So we must make very strong duas, particularly now that the Taraweeh and Sahri is so close. Most of us don't go to sleep. That's why Dr. Manisha sees a lot of work from me in the middle of the night. We could read Tahajjud, and we could make a lot of dua at that time, because Allah comes down to the first heaven and He says at night, is there anybody that's asking for my forgiveness? Is there anybody that wants something so I can give it to them? So these are the times, these are the hours, these are the minutes that we need to make strong dua, strong prayers to God, that may God lift this calamity of COVID-19, and may God help India. Talk to you, sir.
Jazakallah khair, mashallah. Does that answer your question, sir? Yeah. Yes. Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam.
Okay, thank you for that, Dr. Saban, Mr. Shah. Okay, Mr. Shah, so you were saying, mashallah, as I said, it's been difficult, and but people have adjusted in some ways, haven't they?
Yeah, the different we should have got some guidance. If you wanted to pray namaz by yourself with your family, the imam starts up stands at the front, where the wife should stand, where the children should stand, if there's any other prayer where they should. So this document is available on INDB's website. If you go to the website, we can put it on that website also. It's not exclusive document, but we would copyright over it. People can take the document and cut those pages out. We don't have any problem with that. So I think in some ways they're bringing families closer. However, having said that, it's also bringing out violence in households, because it's causing a lot of domestic violence. I just read a document today that when there's two pieces of pots in the house, they do a raffle. So husband and wife and kids and things, they do once in a while. Unfortunately, things do happen, but when it's not a situation when you're 24/7 all together, this is causing a lot of violence within the family. And I think as men who I wouldn't be wrong in saying men are probably the more aggressive nature of things. They are probably responsible for quite a lot of that. So people need to be very, very extra careful and become close to Rasulullah. Rasulullah said that the best amongst you is the one who is best to his wife. That's quite interesting. This is a hadith of Rasulullah. We say also if you want to know about a person, but what to do is you ask his wife what kind of person he is. So that's quite interesting as well.
Also the psychological effect on people, especially, like obviously grandparents can't see their children and vice versa, and there's financial stress, etc. So there's a lot of stress as well. And do you think after all this was finished, there's going to be a lot of counseling need doing?
I think so. I think those who are savvy or tech savvy, I think for example, my relatives, I've been Zoom timing them, Zoom videos and FaceTiming them, probably more than I usually see them. We used to see them once a week or because they're at school. So now I'm getting Zoom timing them every single day, which is quite interesting. I'm sure there are people that will need counseling also. But given it comparing, for example, India, we can't compare India with UK here. And comparing not only India but New Zealand. I was looking at New Zealand. The Prime Minister there, that lady, I forgot her she's my hero, fantastic woman. She actually said, we're going to give you 48 hours or so before we do lockdown. That was very good, I mean, the government will say, we're going to have immediate lockdown within the next 4 hours. That is so stupid. It's just unbelievable. People are going out to buy food and things that they just are beating up with sticks. God, I'm a bit happy, right? People do need to go out and buy stuff. Some of the videos that we've been seeing is just terrible, totally terrible, totally unacceptable. Anyway.
So I said, it's been day 47 today already, mashallah. So I think people get used to it. Ramzan is 15 for Ramzan now. So in some ways, in the starting, they found it very difficult to adjust without the masjid. But now, mashallah, I think people have been used to it now, inshallah, one way or another.
Do you have any comments about what we just talked about?
Yes.
I didn't say that.
No,
She had another meeting. She had another meeting at 6 o'clock, so
I am there. Sorry.
she's here. She's on the line.
Sorry, Mufti Bhai.
She's still here. She's still here.
Anyway. The show must go on.
Okay.
Can you please ask me the question what was there?
I heard you had gone. Has your meeting started? Has your meeting started?
Sorry, I can't hear you properly, Mufti Bhai.
Okay. It's okay. What I was saying was whether you had any thoughts on some of the violence that was going on and some of the violence, the domestic violence that was happening, what your experiences or what you heard?
Yeah, so, well, in my own personal family and friends here in Birmingham, there in the UK, 2 of them were found positive. But I mean, in India, my auntie was, she suffered from a heart attack and she was admitted in the same hospital which has a unit of COVID. And the numbers that the Indian government is showing was almost 25%, was almost the number that was in that hospital. So in the hospital itself, there were 50 people, and that number was at that time reported for the whole of the Madhya Pradesh area. So, the figures that are being reported for India are also not right. And I know that is happening in many other countries. So, we're not really surprised to hear that.
What's really putting me in the back of my mind is Eid is coming very close. So I don't know what's going to happen because how Eid is one of those affairs where everyone gets together.
I think be it Eid or any other festivals, we are going to be stepping into a new world. Rather, we have already stepped into the new world, and we have to be doing things in a different way now. So the Eid Mubarak might need to be without hugging. That is, it really is the standard way of doing it, and it's going to be different this year. But nonetheless, the sweetness of the Eid and the sweetness of the desserts we get, the sweet dishes that we get in Eid is not going to be any different, whether we are, going to meet each other or not. It will still be the same.
Yeah. I hope that all our listeners are doing some sort of, I hope all our listeners are doing some sort of Tarawih Salat in their houses. I know with my friends we're getting together and our family we're getting together and we are reading Tarawih Salah.
Because as I said, one thing, a lot of people are doing Tarawih together, Talim together, Zikr together. So actually, it's a family time because as I said, I was talking to Yusuf Sultan yesterday, on Wednesday on the day. We've been like a rat race running about all the time, So this has given us like a reality check.
Yeah.
So it's a reality check on us to realize what's important in life. That's what I think. So
yeah, we have this for everybody. That's why we have a very good a young lady called Ella. Ella is from Turkey. and are part of our mosque open day. And how I got to know them was, I don't know if you're listening, I know you're listening because you're texting me. How I got to know them is because I went to Sultan, the Blue Mosque, and these people were doing mosque open day. So when the Azan was happening, they were being almost condemned to one of the rooms and given a presentation about Islam. How Islam is and how the Blue Mosque is and how Turkey is, etc. So I could know them very well. And I gave them a good critique of things, what they could do to improve, and I invited them over to UK. So they were going to come this year to UK. In fact, they were going to come to Bosnia and Dewsbury, but unfortunately, COVID-19 has knocked those plans. But anyway, we still got hope that they will come either this year or next year.
So for me, the occasion of Eid has been very nostalgic always, not just after I've been in the UK. I grew up very closely with a Muslim family, a Harun family from Bhopal. Bhopal is very much known to have a lot of Muslims, and Eid used to be very, very special for everybody in Bhopal. And for me, Eid without meeting people, without fun and laughter, and for me, Eid is an imagination of which I imagine to be in a courtyard of the Harun family where we used to go. It just brings back those memories, and perhaps that's not going to happen this year, but let's pray that we get rid of this virus forever. We keep on following the learnings, the lessons we have learned from COVID, and yet, continue to make those wonderful memories that we made during our childhood.
Interesting, Dr. Manisha, that you mentioned Bhopal. The Maharaja, the king of Bhopal, was the first person to build a mosque in UK, in Woking, and I've been to that mosque. Woking, which is probably not far from central London. It's near Guildford. So I was there, and when you said Bhopal, that image came into my mind that the first mosque that was built in UK, because she used to come and visit here in the holidays or whatever. This was before the British Raj, when they took over us. But it's a different story. We can talk about that later on.
So we still have a person. I wouldn't reveal.
That Woking Mosque or Shah Jahan Mosque, it's quite interesting that you can go to it. It's a very traditional Islamic building. It's in the middle, just outside London. It was built in the 18th century.
So it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting to know that. Without revealing the identity, I know that the Nawab of Bhopal, his daughter is settled in London, and she's a friend of mine. And so maybe we could go and visit that mosque one day.
Upper class people, they're quite, there's a lot settled here. So yeah.
Interesting.
I thought it would be good to digress here. Do you know something? The first mosque in the north of England was in Buckley. This is where we are, me and my staff and this radio station. In fact, it's not very far from the radio station building. It was on Bradford Road. It was built in the 1957 in that sort of area. And which turned out into place, if I'm not mistaken, I'm sure.
1963.
Do you know who the first imam was in that mosque? Manisha?
No,
Who the first imam was in that mosque?
no,
I was born.
no, I don't think I'm aware of that, Mufti Bhai.
No, it was my grandfather.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, my grandfather Suleiman. He was
Wow.
He was one of the early ulama, early scholars, and he was in fact they told me I'm speaking image of him, so there you are.
It's a small world.
The first imam in Buckley, and it was it's a mosque. It's very narrow, it's very long, and yet it's still there. Yeah.
Also,
You're too young, man.
no, I remember because my dad, guess who came to the masjid? I don't know if you know in history, 1964, from America. Malcolm X visited the masjid.
Yes,
See, 1964, my dad told me, he remembered. He said he came. Nobody knew who he was, but then they remembered afterwards.
Yes. And that is the place where in the 70s, and this is Yusuf Sultan is listening, in the 70s they left the pig's head on the minbar in the mosque. And there was big uproar that they had left the pig's head in the mosque, and they were obviously trying, the British National Party were trying to agitate things, that there was a big demonstration, and Yusuf and people like Yusuf Sultan were, not many people know that, but Yusuf Sultan and people like that were at that time carrying the torch, of pushing Muslim rights and getting Muslim rights in terms of government and their policy. We've done a lot of work in terms of community cohesion and the rights of Muslims and minorities in Turkey. And when Manisha and our team will come, we'll be very clear as well to all the people there. It's very nice to see that person was thought out of the way and a few years back. So that's one of the projects that happened. I know how it is done, but if it features some possible, it's quite devastating to your life. But you should be a very gentleman.
And that was 1980. I remember as a child. Believe it or not, I've got a file of all the history of newspaper cuttings. I just found it. When I did a course in college on race relations, I did a cutting of all the newspaper articles going back 1960s. So I've got it somewhere. It's an antique now. I've got the file somewhere going back from 1960s, 70s, 80s to 1990s. So I've kept it. Good job I kept this. All the newspaper cuttings, all the issues we've had as the Muslim community. So I might have to give it to IWS as a historical document. So all the newspaper cuttings are set.
Because I think it's very important that all people can
I've got them. It's a massive file. All the newspaper cuttings going back to last 30, 35, 40 years. So the one incident you're talking about is 1980. I remember. I was a child. I remember the incident very well. As I said, mashallah, as a community, it's nearly 4 generations now. Some of the communities have been here 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. And I think it's something, I want to talk about. We need to give something back as a Muslim community. And now with the food bank and things like that, it's been very positive. Mashallah, I've been lucky working with ICWA, going around in the community, not just for the Muslim community, the wider community, the non-Muslim. And the response, it's been fantastic. The letters we've got of thank yous, and I think it has built a bridge between the communities now.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. And we also do a lot of work on the interfaith, and I'm working with particularly Reverend Simon Cash, who is the priest in charge, and we do a lot of work with him. So we use because when even the secularism that get called in the whole of Western world, we have people from each faith of Abrahamic faith, Muslims, Christians, and Jews, and everybody else that wants to join us. We've got Sikh and we've got Hindus as well with us. Have joined together and formed this organization called North Interfaith Council. And we do a lot of good work. Because we need more people to join.
I think this COVID-19 has brought humanity together. Humanity together. That's what I've realized.
That's right.
The saying of Rumi, Jalal Rumi, my favorite poet, saying, before you become Muslim, Christian, Jew, Muslim, Hindu, or whatever, become a human first. And I think that's so much true. Every religion tells you about love of the humanity.
Yeah, and I think this is the way to go. Unfortunately, it didn't happen like that in India. But however, the CAA issue united the India in a big way, and I hope it continues to be. But on that point that you were mentioning, Mufti Bhai, that you're doing a lot during your community, organization is doing a lot, I have seen a lot of Muslim organizations doing extremely great things during this COVID crisis. They are without thinking who they are helping, irrespective of people's religion and their backgrounds, and they are helping out through funds, through food. Through even when I know there's a particular person, a family who was stranded in India, Abdul Karim Bhai from here in Leicester, he made arrangements to protect them and take them to their homes because they were at risk of losing their lives with mobs attacking them because they were Muslims. So I know there's a lot of work that is going on.
Which means sincerity, but it doesn't actually give it a good meaning when we translate it one word into another language. Ikhlas is when you do things for the sake of God, and God is only watching you, and you're asking for reward, not from humanity, but from God. And what the reason I mentioned that is there is so many people who just do not want to expose themselves. They do it purely for the sake of God and for the sake of humanity, and they don't want thanks from anybody.
That's right.
In the Turkish country, I know this young man is also listening from Turkey. In the time of the Ottoman Khalif, what they used to do is they used to have a box or something, like a big box, and these people used to put the money in from the top, and there was a opening at the bottom, and the poor people used to come, and they used to put the hand in and take money out. So people are giving people money. So when you give people money, they feel inferior to you. So they don't want to take money from you. So the rich people used to leave the money in these boxes, and the money would come down. And then the poor people would then in turn go and take whatever they needed, and then this is the caste system in India. This was the caste system in Turkey, and all the maybe less than that, where the mosque is closed. There is no prayer in the mosque. It's a Turkish mosque, but it was open for where people pray in open hall. The imam of the mosque was doing this. Turkish imam was putting plastic bags of food, so people were coming in and just picking up the food and just going. So it seems that mosques became a food bank for people, which is quite interesting.
So before this program closes, I'd really like to thank, on behalf of the entire humanity, I'd like to thank all the Muslims.
Summarize what it is that we talked about. Just please summarize it, please.
Yes, definitely. So we are an organization called India. We work towards making human rights possible in India, and we stand for everything. We are making a film highlighting the atrocities on Muslims in India due to COVID, and the world over, the atrocities that have taken place during pandemics on minorities. And we really would like to have support from the public in terms of raising funds. And as an organization, we'd like to have support from you by not just being armchair warriors, but coming forward to help us carry out these tasks, because we will need to divide these many tasks that we have to do. We have to divide them and then conquer the monster.
So we are looking for donations from people, lillah donation, not zakat or sadaqah. We're looking for lillah donation. Maybe this doesn't mean a lot to you, Manisha, but we have a special category that must go directly to the poor people. So that money can't come through the course of that. So there are other money that because people can just donate. And we don't have a PayPal account, don't we? That people can donate into. And notwithstanding a discussion with staff and the people there, we will try and get this poster in all different places, because I think it's in all our interest to help this is a quite unique organization. I don't think I've come across any organization like this of this variety of
This is one of its kind. Yeah, we are one of its kind, and please feel free to for the listeners, I'd say please feel free to ask questions. We've got a Twitter account in the India for the India group. We've also feel free to get my number from Mufti Bhai or from the radio station and call me directly and talk to me. I will be more than happy to answer your questions about the film or about the organization. All we need is really your help. We cannot do without your help.
Thank you, both of you, Mufti Sahib and Doctor. Thank you so much. I think we've gone over the time. It's been very interesting. First time I've been in a three-way conversation. Marshall, it's been very interesting. Mufti Sahib, I'll have to call you back. We've got so much subject to talk about, inshallah.
I'm always happy to come.
Yeah, I know. Mashallah. Thank you. So I said, thank you. No problem. I'll phone you.
Our precious time so we can cover it in a more in a different program. I believe it was important to talk about India because only the main we are Indian Muslims, and I think it was important. And I'm sure you got other listeners also, Indian Muslims. But there seems to be that Indian Muslims was happening there.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. God be with you. Bye-bye.
Ameen. Okay, thank you so much. So you've been listening to Al Mubarak Radio Food for Thought, with me, Al Faqdaji. Inshallah, until next time, Allah Hafiz.